Thank you everyone for being here. My name is Jonathan Fritzler, and today I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit about our program Sacred Strategy. And Sacred Strategy came from actually an experience over the last summer. I was at a music festival giving a presentation. The presentation was called The Quantum Activist's Guide to Social Entrepreneurship. And when I had given that presentation, there's a movie called The Quantum Activist, and the producers of the movie were there at this event, and I actually had to run it by them to make sure that it was okay that I used that title. And they were like, yeah, sure, go for it. They were excited about it, that, you know, that it's becoming a thing, you know, the quantum activism, which, you know, quantum activism is the idea that each one of us has these innate spiritual capabilities and powers and connections, and we have the ability to use them for a cause, for a purpose, for activism, to have a proactive impact in the world through our energy work, beyond just healing, you know, beyond just healing, using it for, you know, for the social institution, for the educational institution. And so I started to, I brought this course to this music festival, and after I gave this presentation, people were lined up to come and talk to me and share their vision with me and ask for feedback. And it was so cool because for the following days, I was, you know, able to engage with people, and they were coming up to me, and the first thing I would ask is, what's your mission? And they would tell me their mission, and I would immediately start channeling what I call the divine sacred strategy. And it was, and I didn't know that, you know, before it was kind of like brainstorming, but suddenly I realized that I'm actually channeling, and I'm forecasting, you know, forecasting the future, and this is prophecy, you know, and all of us have this ability to have prophecy. But, you know, with my background as studying business at the University of Hawaii, graduating from there, and then continuing my education just by, you know, relentlessly and religiously studying marketing and business and social movements. I've been able to merge the two, and so that's where this course has come from. And it was all in divine timing that I was able to team up with the Quantum Institute International to be able to develop this course and to take the time to really invest tens, coming up on hundreds of hours of research to develop the curriculum for this 16-week course called Sacred Strategy. And as Lucky mentioned earlier, the program is really cool because what we're doing is we're actually aligning our core purpose and our mission with our research, with the ultimate goal of writing a book. And this book becomes your vehicle to credibility. It becomes your credentials to becoming the thought-leading expert in your niche, so that you can be the #1 person who's addressing a certain need of your target audience. Because what's happening right now, and the timing is perfect to become an entrepreneur. Right now is the time to get started. Because what's happening is with the internet, what's happening is the social structure, the hierarchy of capitalism and of corporate powerhouse businesses who are dominating the markets back in the 90s into the early hundreds, into the early 20s, it's starting to deconstruct. What's happening right now in the economy is that people are starting to wake up. People are starting to realize what these corporations are doing to our environment. They're starting to realize what the corporations are doing to the people and turning people into machines, into robots, you know, decrease costs, increase productivity, you know, penetrate the market, you know, decrease our cost of natural resources. And what's happening is that it's ruining our world, and it's not sustainable. And so that's what this course is all about, is not only how do we create a business, but how do we create a sustainable business. So I'm going to get into that in a little bit, but just to kind of give you a forecast of the potential here. As the corporate structure starts to fall, there's an increase in opportunity for entrepreneurs, for local people who have a local offering, a service, a product, whatever it may be. There's an opportunity for you to engage with an international marketplace because now we have the technology and the tools to be able to address them and to connect with them. And every day, these tools are getting better and better and easier to use. There's something called 0 point energy, where we start to tap into the energy in the ether, the energy that's in here right now. And Nikola Tesla was able to tap into that with his tools. But in order to tap into that, it needs an instrument. That energy needs an instrument, and we can become that instrument. Now, the interesting thing with the technology is that as the technology advances to match the user-friendliness of people, what happens is there's an intersection, and that intersection is going like this, and this, and this, and pretty soon we're going to hit this point. Some people call it 0 point, some people call it artificial intelligence. We're already there, but it's happening more and more. And if you can just find that desire in your heart, that light in your heart that says, you know what, I'm willing to learn. That willingness to learn that, you know what, technology, yeah, it's a scary thing. I was scared out of my mind to learn how to design websites and do graphic design and do video production. But now I know it like the back of my hand. And guess what? As I start to learn it, the technology is literally getting easier. Not because I'm getting better at it, but because I know like, oh, there's this, but now I know there's this. Oh, that's easy. That just saves me like a whole day right there. You know, we're able to upload videos to YouTube in the flash of a button. You know, just boom, it's instant. So now, in the 21st century, the opportunity that we have is to be able to start being creative. We get to use our creativity. Creativity in the 21st century is currency. That is the currency. It's how creative can you be? Can you engage with your audience? You know, and I think about this all the time. How can I be creative? You know, and it's finally happening. There is a learning curve to everything, you know? But that's what this course is all about, is to help us get through that learning curve together. And that's what we do. We research together, we write together, we prepare together, we meditate together, we release things together, we transform and transmute together. This is sacred strategy, aligning the universal principles, the spiritual principles, with our business so that we can increase our quality of life, and as we do, increase the quality of our business, increase the amount of money that we bring in so that we can not live a lavishly, prosperous life, but a sustainable life so that we can sustain our vision. And so that's the vision of this course. Today I'm going to be sharing a message with you for sacred strategy. This is applying the 12 universal laws to your business practice. And this message is really powerful because what we're going to be doing is applying these universal principles, like the law of attraction, to our business models. And it's really powerful because when we start to take this knowledge that we've been getting through our spiritual practices and actually applying them to our business model, it's kind of like performing a ho'oponopono on your business, or clearing the energy so that you can start to take a new perspective towards what you're doing every day and be able to have a new energy, like bringing that feng shui to your business, to your clients, and to yourself so that you can move forward into your business with confidence, knowing that you're taking the right steps, knowing that you're in that harmonic alignment that will truly allow you to manifest at a higher level. Right on. All right, so let's get started. So the first law that we're going to speak of today is the law of oneness. So the first out of the 12 laws help us to understand that we live in a world where everything is connected to everything else. Everything that we do, say, think, and believe affects others and the universe around us. So we all know this. We all know that we're all one and that we're connected. But have you thought about how your business is one with the universe and what that means? That means that the way that we operate as a business is very important to think about. And what I would like to encourage you all to consider is how you might be able to apply something called a triple bottom line business model to your business. So a triple bottom line business influences what we call people, planet, and profit. So people would be, what is the positive benefit that your business has on the people in society? How do you engage with people? How do you enliven the lives of people? Planet, people, planet. How does your business, by making money, benefit the planet? For every service that you purchase from us, we plant a new tree. Boom. How's that for marketing? How's that for sacred strategy? That's aligning the values that we have as conscious companies, as conscious entrepreneurs. That aligns us. So think about that. Be creative with how you can give back to society. Maybe a percentage of proceeds goes to an environmental organization, or maybe you spend some time doing a beach cleanup, with your team. And then, of course, profit. Now, I know a lot of times when I speak with conscious entrepreneurs, profit is almost like it's like something that we don't talk about. Something like, oh, well, I don't know if we should be charging for that. But the challenge with that is that if we're not charging and if we're not holding ourselves in a position of value, that's not sustainable. And that is going against the universal laws. That's asking for us to be canceled out. And if we're truly going to be sustainable and bring our value, our highest value to the planet, we have to be financially sustainable, and we have to hold ourselves in high regard to that. So the second law that I'd like to talk about today is the law of vibration. This law states that everything in the universe moves, vibrates, and travels in circular patterns. The same principles of vibration apply to our thoughts, feelings, desires, and will in the etheric world. Each sound, thing, and even thought has its own vibrational frequency, unique to itself. Now, for this topic, what we speak on a lot in our course, Sacred Strategy, is what is your story? And how is your story? What vibration, what frequency is your story? And how is it resonating with your target audience? It's so important that when you're approaching your business, it's not just about the business, it's about you. Because this is what's happening. I explained earlier, the centralized power of business is decentralizing. And that wealth and that power and that influence is spreading out. We spend a lot of time cultivating our stories so that we can have an epic story behind our business. And it's so important because people want to be involved in it. They want to be a part of it. They want to be a part of a story. They want to be a part of a movement. And so you can use your story to gain a competitive edge in your marketplace. By having a powerful story, like instead of being Walmart, I'm like this startup guy who's bringing something that nobody else is bringing. I'm focusing so much intention and putting so much love into it. And that's also coming back into the vibration, the frequency of your target audience. What does your story speak to? And how can you cultivate that story to resonate with your audience so that you don't only have customers, but you have evangelists. You have people who are on board, who believe in you, who share your stuff. And when you're in resonance with your story, when you're not trying to please the general public, and you're really being your true self and resonating, you can hear it in your voice when you're on Facebook, when you're doing a post, people will share it. And that's always a test to me. Like when I share something and people share it, I'm like, oh, I'm in alignment with that audience. So that's something to take into consideration. The next law is the law of action. The law of action must be applied in order for us to manifest things on earth. Therefore, we must engage in actions that support our thoughts, dreams, emotions, and words. Start now. If there were ever a time to start a business, right now is the time to start. The economy is great for it. It is the perfect time to start a business, to start learning about the tools that you need to do it. And it's not just about business, it's about a project. Something that gives you meaning in your life, something that really just activates you. Like when you wake up, you're no longer thinking about like, oh, I'm sad. We're no longer activating those neural pathways. All of a sudden we have this project that's like, oh, today I'm going to learn about this and that, or I'm going to research this and that. There's actually a guy named Viktor Frankl. We talked about this at our class last week, and he talked about how he did research he was a psychotherapist, and he would help people overcome depression by finding a project that ignites their spirit. Because when you have a project, when you have something that keeps you busy, you're no longer thinking about yourself and how lame life is because you're so bored that you have nothing more to think about than how bored you are. We're all depressed, friends. We're all lonely. We all need someone to love, We're all searching for truth, but we can create meaning, we can create truth. And when you have a project and when you have a brand that you can actually like get behind and be like, hey, check out this cool thing that I'm creating, people are like, whoa, that's cool. And then that gives you confidence and it makes you feel good about yourself and it gives you something to look forward to tomorrow and do for the rest of your life. And thinking about my life, the moment I got hit by a truck 8 years ago, almost died, my whole world shattered, my whole identity shattered. And then all of a sudden, I started my nonprofit. I channeled my sacred strategy, started my organization, have not stopped in 8 years, relentlessly pursuing my dreams. And it's the best thing ever. The next law that we're going to talk about today is the law of correspondence. This law states that principles or laws of physics that explain the physical world of light, energy, vibration, and motion have their corresponding principles in the etheric or universe. As above, so below. Friends, your project, your organization, your life, your friends, it's all a reflection. It's all a reflection. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, you have the ability to diligently cultivate your ideas and your ideals, your visions, what you're thinking about, what you're visioning. These universal principles, the more that you think about something, the more you will see that thing. And this goes for our business as well. Have you made the commitment to your business? Have you made a full commitment to your business? It's an important question to ask because that corresponding value of am I committed? Am I fully convicted in this? This is what I'm going to do. I'm willing to serve this. Whew! The moment that you make that commitment, the universe will open the floodgates of heaven in abundance. The moment that you say, you know what? I'm done. I'm doing a 2-month detox of alcohol. And the moment I made that decision, it's like, finally, I don't have to think about that anymore. I don't have to think about zoning out anymore. I get to go into those deep, cobwebby spaces in my heart and actually address them and dust it off. The law of correspondence. Your business is a reflection of you. Number 5, the law of cause and effect. This universal law states that nothing happens by chance or outside of the universal laws. Every action has a reflection or a reaction or consequence, and we reap what we have sown. Friends, there are no millionaires made overnight. To build something, you have to start somewhere. And one principle or one tool that I would encourage you to consider is something called the Lean Startup Method. The Lean Startup Method. And this tool is actually a book, and you can apply the Lean Startup to your business model by testing it on a small scale. So you might have a hypothesis. It's applying the scientific method to your business model. So to do that, you say, I have a hypothesis. I believe that if I start a school, I believe that if I start a school, people will come to it and sit in class. And so we're going to apply the Lean Startup or the scientific method. We're going to create a course. Boom. We're going to schedule it. Boom. and we're going to test the market. We're going to see if people want this, right? Boom, we test it, we run it, it works, we got results. Now we can scale. That's the law of cause and effect. We can cause an effect in the universe. So by trying something new and testing it, a lot of times with our business, we're like, oh, wait a second, first I need to raise $1 million and build a factory and then I can start to do business. No, start small. Start one time, do one thing and just test it and see if it works. Get feedback from people so that you can see the effect that you've caused. Number 6, the law of circulation. This law is the cause and effect applied to blessings, abundance that are provided for us, dependent on what we give. So the visible effects of our deeds are given to us in gifts, money, inheritance, friendships, and blessings. In order to discover our true self-worth, we can ask ourselves a question. What do I charge right now? Think about it. What's your hourly? Now that's of course not our value, right? It's our financial value, right? How can we boost that? How can we boost what we have in our heart? I went from $10 an hour doing labor to $25 an hour doing thought to $100 an hour doing consulting. How did that happen? How did I quadruple my self-worth in a year? I did it in 1 year. In 1 year, I quadrupled my personal value. I could go to anyone. I could have charged $25. I charged $100 an hour because of my self-value. How did I do it? I read books. Knowledge, information, understanding your self-worth. Number 7, the law of attraction. Preaching to the choir right here. But how do we apply the law of attraction to our business models? This law demonstrates how we create the things, events, and people that come into our lives. Our thoughts, feelings, words, and actions produce energies which in turn attract like energies. Negative energies attract negative energies, and positive energies attract positive energies. Friends, in your business, I encourage you to become the light, the solar system of your universe. Be the light of your niche. Be that shining, radiant light of the people that need you. Know the people that you want to work with so that you can shine the brightest for them. I can't tell you how many times I hold back from posting things on Facebook because I'm afraid that I'm going to offend somebody, because it's so bright, because I use the word God, because because I'm speaking spiritually, or because I'm saying what I really feel. So many times I do that, but if I was to really focus on who I'm really trying to inspire with that, then I would be able to attract more of that. And there's major blockages in me. What you're seeing right now, you're seeing me being in integrity, finally, after years of not valuing. Takes time, persistence. Number 8, the law of perpetual change. All people have within them the power to change the conditions in their lives. Higher vibrations consume and transform lower ones. Thus, each of us can change the energies in our lives by understanding the universal laws and applying the principles in such a way as to effect change. Changing markets, changing demands, changing tastes, cultures. Things are going to start to shift a lot, and it's going to happen quickly, rapidly, due to technology. 100 years from 1500 to 1600, you wouldn't have seen much change. 16 to 17, you wouldn't have seen, more change. 17 to 18, 19 to 200 to 2000. I mean, it's huge, and it's going like this. It's a bell curve, or it's a what curve is that? Exponential growth. So this is what we call the quickening in spirituality. It's where everyone starts waking up faster and faster. So how can we be on the cutting edge of that? By understanding that that's happening. The law of relativity. In physics, relativity is dealing with time, space, and the velocity of light. The life of an entrepreneur is a roller coaster, and it all comes down to how much you can enjoy riding the wave. Despite the specific challenges, every entrepreneur will experience similar trials that test their will to be free. Along this path, we also have the opportunity to choose to become a social entrepreneur for the benefit of mankind. Be a social entrepreneur. Put the triple bottom line into your business model and do something good for humanity, and you will see the seeds come to fruition, and you will be able to reap what you sow. Number 10, the law of polarity. This law states that everything is on a continuum, and has an opposite. We can suppress and transform undesirable thoughts by concentrating on the opposite pole. It is the law of mental vibrations. And for those of you who have taken my course, this is the value scale, and this is something that talks about how when we can awaken our genius, when we align our actions with our highest values, when we're in alignment with our higher values, or what we like to do, or what's most important to us, we're awakening our genius, versus when we're doing things that's not in alignment, there's blockages. And in order to get through things, when we get through these little challenges, it breaks us down. It's like, but when you do things that it's in alignment with your higher values, you can jump over those things, and it builds your confidence. So those blockades, are you in alignment? And this is something we'll cover in my course. The law of rhythm. This law states that everything vibrates and moves to a certain rhythm. These rhythms establish seasons, cycles, stages of development, and patterns. Each cycle reflects the regularity of the universe. Masters know how to rise above negative parts of a cycle by never getting too excited or allowing negative things to penetrate their consciousness. So I put this example up here, and this is the pattern of a product life cycle. So a product life cycle, knowing that in the beginning when you're developing, things are going to go slow, but as it starts to increase and reach maturity, this is a rhythm, this is a pattern, and it's important to know that that exists, so that when you're going into it, you wake up in the morning, you're like, ooh, I don't know if I should keep going because I'm not seeing any results. Well, hey, friend, you got to get out there into the market. You got to try to sell your product first before you give up. Test it, because I bet there's someone out there that's waiting and needs your help. And the last one is the law of gender. This is the positive and the negative. This is the balance. This is the balance of your business. Speaking to gender in your business, being able to address the male, the masculine, and the feminine, the divine masculine, the divine feminine, and speaking this as a conscious entrepreneur. Being able to speak on this language and start to bring equality to business, to the workplace, to the workforce. We're the future leaders of this new economy. And so as social entrepreneurs, we need to be able to honor gender and honor that equality in our business. So with that, those were the 12 universal principles applied to your business, and I hope that this spoke to you. I'd like to encourage you all to check out our programs here at the Quantum Institute, and also online. You can check out my website, sacredstrategy.org, and find out about how you can get involved with the next round of Sacred Strategy, because we have a new round coming up, and it's going to be a really powerful course. It's 16 weeks long, and also I believe that if you're interested in coming in halfway through, there's a possibility that you can do that and come for the second half of the course. The first half we covered writing your book, And you will get some of that information in the second half, but in the second half we're going to be talking a little bit more about business strategy, branding yourself. We're going to get into some online strategies, some 21st century technology stuff. It's really powerful. I study this stuff nonstop so that I can bring it to you all in a way that's really easy to understand and the most effective way, so that you're not wasting time figuring out how to do it right. I can show you exactly how to do it, and we can do it together. So thank you so much for being here. Aloha and namaste.
Thank you.